Hello and welcome to Win Over Depression. I am your host, Tamera Trotter. This podcast is dedicated to those who suffer with a mental illness but try every single day to feel better. It's also dedicated to those who have loved ones who suffer in silence and want everyone to know about this debilitating condition. You know, depression is one of the most undertreated conditions in the entire world. Did you know that every 50 seconds someone is taking their life? It is truly a pandemic, and we must do what we can to spread awareness about mental health. Today, we'll be talking about mindset and how important your mindset is when it comes to really everything in life, but definitely when it comes to managing your mental health. So what is your current mindset? Do you feel as if you are now in a place where you can overcome your circumstances and get to that place in life where you deserve? Are you accepting of your condition? That's one of the first things that we have to do. Once we accept that we suffer with a mental illness, we are in a much better place to now put into action a plan that is going to help us manage our care. Self-care is also the key to feeling better. Every morning you should get up, take a shower, don't stay in bed. Make sure you have a plan for the day. Eat a healthy breakfast. Make sure that you're getting in a lot of protein. Make sure you're eating leafy vegetables. Stay away from candy and sugary drinks. That's one of the things that you can do to practice self-care when it comes to managing your mental health. Set realistic goals. Break tasks into smaller, manageable steps, and make sure that you are able to achieve the realistic goals that you have set for yourself. Remember to celebrate the small wins. Engage in some activities that bring you joy and give you a sense of accomplishment. It's so important that we also focus on the present. When we focus on the future and what we think the future may entail for us, it sometimes makes us sad, but we can never know what the future will bring because we can't determine that. We have to live in the present moment, deal with whatever is in front of us. Sure, we can plan for the future, but we should not be so focused on the future that we cannot focus on what is in front of us. We have to be patient and persistent. We have to make sure that when we are managing our mindset, that we are not surrounding ourselves with people who exude negativity. I know it seems like a laundry list, but there are so many things that we need to continue to do in order to keep our depression at bay. We need to limit or completely take out alcohol. If you can just limit it, it's going to help you. But if you can reduce it immensely, you're going to feel that much better. How about your sleeping? Are you able to sleep? Getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep every single night is essential. And that is why I wanted to share with you that Win Over Depression is currently on TikTok. And on Monday, February 26th, we will have a live and free webinar. In order to register, all you have to do is go to the Win Over Depression TikTok page, and on my bio, you will see a link that says Pensight, PENSIGHT.com. Click on that link and it will take you to register for the webinar. There are 2 sessions on that day. One will take place at noon Pacific Standard Time, and the second one will take place at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come and find out ways that you can overcome your mental illness. I will also be sharing a brand new mental health diary that I have, as well as an ebook. So I hope to see you there. Remember, giving up is never an option. Stay in the game of life. Hello, and welcome to Win Over Depression, your beacon of hope in the realm of mental health. I am your host, Tamera Trotter. I am your companion on the journey to reclaiming joy and resilience. In this podcast, we'll unravel the vital importance of managing your well-being amidst life's challenges, from practical strategies to uplifting stories and expert advice. Each episode is a roadmap to cultivating mental wellness, and overcoming the grip of depression. Whether you are seeking solace for yourself or supporting a friend, here you will find the tools and inspiration to navigate the complexities of emotional health. Join me as we embark on a transformative quest to prioritize self-care, resilience, and the triumph of the human spirit. Let's together redefine the narrative of depression and embrace a life of purpose and fulfillment. Today on Win Over Depression, we'll be talking about persistence. So what is persistence? Persistence is the quality that allows someone to continue doing something or trying to do something, even though it is difficult or opposed by others. So, one of the hallmark traits of someone who deals with the mental illness is your ability to become persistent in your pursuit of getting better and being mindful of the fact that you must be proactive in your quest to get your mental health back on track. No one can be with you 24 hours a day in order to cheer you up or give you positive affirmation. So you must develop your own tools and techniques to get you there. Part of that means perhaps you need to make an adjustment when it comes to the way that you see things. Are you someone who is constantly worried about what might happen, worried about something that could cause a situation or a circumstance to occur? Well, all we can do is put our best foot forward and each and every day wake up with a positive mindset and attitude. If we wake up every single day dreading the day and thinking that the day's not going to go well, I have a job interview, I'm probably not going to get the job, all of that is negative thinking. And oftentimes we produce in our lives negative results because we build ourselves up to fail. And so when we do that, failure is not on our side. So failure obliges, meaning that if we expect to fail, guess what? We're going to fail. So then how do we maintain persistence as it relates to managing our mental health? What we do is we take positive actions and we seek help despite the challenges and difficulties posed by the condition. Depression can make even the smallest task feel overwhelming, and the journey to manage or overcome it often requires sustained effort. And what is sustained effort? It is persistence. So how do we know when we need to seek out help, that whatever we're doing isn't working and that we may need to contact a professional? Persistent efforts to seek and engage with professional help, such as therapy or medication, is crucial, because this might involve trying on a different therapist or a different medication until the right fit is found. You may not believe that you need medication, but when you realize that depression is due to a chemical imbalance in the brain and the medication allows you to produce more serotonin, which has a direct effect on your mood, then you may think twice about taking medication. If you had a heart condition or diabetes or a thyroid condition, if you had to take medication after a surgery, you would take it without any question. So why is it that you may be required to take medication for your mental health, and we sometimes feel that it's not the right thing to do? But why isn't it? I've taken medication for over 14 years, and I take it because it helps me, and it's nobody else's business. So don't allow other people and their opinions to affect you getting the help that you need. Another key component when managing our mental health and being persistent is maintaining routines. Because when we stick to daily routines and self-care practices, even when our motivation is low, we are still able to manage our symptoms. So this includes maintaining a regular sleep schedule, eating well, and exercise. If you can do those three things, your mental health is going to get a boost. When you're able to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night, when you eat well for your depression. Some things that work wonders for your depression is eating leafy vegetables, making sure that you are doing away with as much sugar as possible. You're not drinking a lot of sugary drinks or soda, that you are eating any type of fish. Salmon is perfect. Any type of nuts work well for depression, whether it's pecans or walnuts. Those are very good for your depression. So vegetables and fruits help depression. And maybe you don't want to exercise. You can actually just walk around your house for 10 or 15 minutes a day. And that in of itself is going to open your endorphins, and you're going to get a natural increase in energy. In addition to that, anytime you can get 15 minutes of sunlight, you are giving your mental health condition a boost. Staying in the house in a dark room with the curtains drawn is only going to exacerbate depression. Staying in your bed in your pajamas, not taking a shower, is going to exacerbate your depression. Even if you get up and open the blinds in your room, you take a shower, freshen up, put your pajamas back on, that is still completing a goal. That is favor of managing mental health. Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for what we do. The smallest step that we take in managing our mental health will absolutely go further than you could possibly imagine. I talk about this very often, but it's absolutely true that you need an accountability coach, someone who is going to assist, not just when you're feeling down, but just give you positive words of encouragement. Earlier, I talked about how detrimental it is to have people who are toxic in your life. And all that does is exacerbate your depression. But if you have an accountability coach, someone that you can confide in, someone that you trust, and they will help you keep your mental health back on track. And when you are in a downward spiral, you make a commitment with your accountability coach that you're going to contact that person when you are feeling down and low, and that you're not going to do anything without speaking to that person. Holding yourself accountable is one of the crucial components of depression, and it's also going to reduce suicide ideation and remind yourself how important it is for you to continue to live. And I've said it many times. If you feel like you can't live for yourself, then live for the people who love you the most. And let me just say that persistence in the context in which we're speaking of, it's not about pushing through without regard for one's well-being. We definitely want you to practice self-care, but rather it is about maintaining effort and hope and continually working towards improvement even when it feels challenging. So put forth the work and the effort and the hope, because nothing is perfect, because we are just looking for small increments of change. And when you are feeling the most challenged, that is when you should push yourself the most to keep going. Because during that time, that's when some of the unsettling feelings can set in, and you need to be able to combat those feelings of despair. Now, please be reminded that when you suffer with the mental illness, you are going to have setbacks. Remember, a diagnosis of depression or schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, all of these conditions are medical conditions, which means that I am sick and you are sick. So what does that mean? It means that setbacks are part of the process. And some days, yes, depression will win. And you will just decide to go and get in your bed and pull the covers over your head. I've done it. We've all done it. But on those days, we just go ahead and lay down because the next day is coming. And everyone deserves to have a day when they're just saying, I'm just not feeling good today, just not at my best, I just can't do it. That's fine. But don't let that setback to cause you to fall into a deep spiral that can last a long period of time. You've got to get yourself up the next day, dust yourself off, take a shower. One of the things that's very important for someone who suffers with the mental illness is you should be taking a shower within 1 hour of getting out of your bed. Why? Because when you take a shower and that water is streaming down on your face, you are thinking about how the water is replenishing you, it's renewing you, and it's almost as if you are washing off the depression from the previous day. If you go through the entire day without taking a shower, you're not going to get that boost that you need to get started on your day. Number 2 is make sure you eat something when you get up. Within 90 minutes getting out of bed, you need to have showered and had something to eat. Both of those things are going to give you natural energy and you're going to automatically start feeling better. When we don't drink enough water, when we don't eat, all of that causes us to have a lower mood and to not feel well. Next thing about being persistent is self-compassion. Again, self-compassion. Practicing self-compassion and being kind to yourself during the toughest time, that you recognize that the struggle is part of the journey and it is not a reason for self-criticism. And this reminds me of people who think that people who suffer from depression are lazy. And they're like, all you have to do is get out of your bed and get dressed and get ready to go. No, it's not as simple as that. So don't you allow other people and don't you beat yourself up. That is something that requires you to have an understanding that that is what goes along with this illness. And you are going to have setbacks. But I say that every setback is a setup for a comeback. So just keep moving forward. Whenever you feel like you can't take another step, try and take that step anyway. And you will be so surprised at how you are much stronger than you think. You also need to adopt coping mechanism strategy for dealing with your mental health. If you know that there's a certain person that pushes your butt, then why do you either hang around with them a lot or why do you allow them to push your butt? You need to learn to walk away or to let them know, you know what, I'm really not in the mood for it today. So could you just please just let it go? Because the first time that you speak up to that person and you don't allow them to control you, they'll start to treat you better. So as you are being persistent and better understanding your mental illness, you are fostering resilience. You are building that resilience by developing the skills, strategies to handle future challenges more effectively. When you do that, you are strengthening your emotional and psychological endurance. That is what emotional intelligence is all about. It's about you knowing what the emotional triggers are and either responding differently or getting yourself out of that situation. If you know that something is going to cause you to have an emotional rise, then stay home. So as we close out this episode on persistence, we have to remember that managing our depression is about maintaining effort and hope, acknowledging and accepting the ups and the downs of the journey, and consistently taking steps, no matter how small, toward recovery and well-being. But it is totally up to us to make a decision that we're going to get to that better place and not stop short of getting there. I never want to end my podcast without thanking all of you for listening. You are the best part of Win Over Depression. Remember, Win Over Depression now has a TikTok channel. You can find us at 14 Days to Mental Wellness. We have over 300 videos, especially for you. You can also find the course, 14 Days to Mental Health Wellness, on TikTok. You can click the link in my bio. We'll also have the link in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here today. Remember, you can find us on Pinterest at TP Mental Health Expert. You can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, also called Win Over Depression. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn at Tamera Trotter. That's Tamera, last name Trotter, Trotter. If you are listening to this podcast episode, you are contemplating suicide, I encourage you to call your accountability coach and do not take your life. Your life is worth living and it is valuable. It is not a coincidence that you found this podcast. It is a message to you that your life is worth living. Even if you have to go back and listen to each of my episodes tonight in order to occupy your mind with positivity, please do that. Remember, giving up is never an option. And I want you to stay in the game of life. I will see you next time. Win Over Depression. We drop a new episode every Friday. Take care.